How's it going, guys? Alpha Alec here, bringing you with a new video. This is actually going to be Rocket League gameplay. I'm quite new to the game still, and I had only picked it up recently. But I'm playing a public match, a 3-on-3, and although it might be terrible gameplay, we do come out on top with a 4-3 win into overtime. But that's enough about the gameplay. What I want to talk about to you today is what type of Survivor player I would be. Growing up, Survivor has always been this game that I'd always sit down with my family to watch. And if you're unfamiliar with it, basically what Survivor is you're stuck on an island with a bunch of strangers who you learn to call your tribe mates, and you but you're put into two tribes or teams, and you're supposed to basically outlast everyone else by doing these challenges and by playing and then voting each other out if you don't win immunity. So there's a lot of strategy involved. It's a toll on your mental well-being if you're not into that type of stuff at all, and it's pretty stressful, I would say, to be in that situation. Although I have never played, I think it would be a lot of fun. I want to talk about what type of Survivor player I would be if I were to play the game. I've always wanted to play the game. I don't think I have the personality for it to be on television though. But I think it would be so cool to win the game, even if I couldn't win, even if I get voted out first. Just the experience of playing Survivor would just always be a dream come true to me. And when I thought about it, I said, well, gee, what type of Survivor player would I be? So I think personally I would be a low-key player, definitely. I wouldn't be any sort of physical challenge threat, depending on most of the challenges. I'd probably do average or below average in a lot of them. But I took some quizzes online to see what type of player I would be, and here are the results. So the first quiz I took was from some random quiz online, and it was what type of Survivor player you would most like, and I went through it and I got John Cochran. I've always admired John Cochran as a player just because he's kind of reminds me of me, you know, sort of this geeky person, not exactly the most physical, but he did play 2 seasons, and his second season he did win without having any votes cast against him, which is a pretty big achievement in Survivor, because to go 39 days and not have a single person even think of voting you out is pretty good. It's not like he flew under the radar though. He was pretty tactically inclined, I guess you could say, and he did win a few immunity challenges in his second season. This other quiz I took was from CBS, and it was on their official website, and it was what type of Survivor player would you be? And so I took it, and I got resourcefulness as the result, and it shows a picture of Ozzy in one of the challenges. And to me, I think resourcefulness is actually one of the greatest attributes you can have in a game of Survivor, because the game is always evolving, and you kind of have to decide how you want to adapt to best suit your game. And if you can't adapt, you're going to be left behind, and that's why I think being resourceful is great. It means you're versatile in group settings. You know how to when to burn your bridges and what to do in a crappy situation. And I think, you know, being compared to John Cochran or Ozzy any day, even if I've never played Survivor, is pretty cool. Now, although I don't think I have the TV personality to be on Survivor, I think I would be a decent player in of itself. You know, I'd play with people's emotions. I wouldn't manipulate them or emotionally abuse them in that sense, but I would try to get them to think that my decision more so is their decision, and make them believe that they're calling the shots when in actuality I would be doing it. And I'd slowly try to pick people off one by one this way. I'd probably start by taking out a few of the bigger threats, but I would love to have some threats staying around so I can work with them, and also so that they could become a meat shield essentially if every big dangerous player goes out. That way there's always that safety second backup plan that could say, hey, we could vote out John because he's a pretty big physical and social threat. And so that's what type of gameplay I would play. I wouldn't fly under the radar. I would try to be controlling the game by kind of working with people's minds and just saying, hey, you want to do that, I'm with you. But I would actually try to make it into my decision and have them believe that they're voting out their other person, or that they're making the decision to. and I think I would be alright in puzzle games, not games, challenges, and I don't know how physical of a threat I would be, but I would say I have decent endurance, so I could do well in the endurance section of the challenge portion of Survivor. But there's all these twists and turns that would make it unpredictable, and especially in the last season, I think that could be very unpredictable to your gameplay, and it could certainly mess it up if you're trying to play with a, okay, if X does Y situation, then we do Z, but there's so many other variables you can throw in there, and that's what makes Survivor an ever-changing game. You have to be able to adapt. Like I said, I'm fairly certain that no one would want to be rooting for me back in the States, at least people watching it, probably besides my family, obviously, but I think I would play a very passive game. Not passive, but like patient game. I guess patience is the word I'm looking for. I wouldn't be too rash in my decisions. I would always think things through, and I'd try to collaborate with my tribe mates and try to work together while also keeping a majority alliance always under my thumb. But the trick about Survivor is you want to be doing all these things without making yourself a target, because the second you make yourself a target and people start to notice, that's when you're in trouble. And so I think that would be my case, and I would probably go looking for idols whenever I get the chance. I wouldn't do it when people are awake and aware. I'd be like Tony in recent seasons and wait till everyone falls asleep before I go out and search for idols, but that's my idol gameplay. I wouldn't rely too much on them or any other advantage, because once you do get to the end, if you want to convince your jury that you played a good game, you can't just be listing off all these advantages that you found or these advantages that you won, because then you're not really playing Survivor. You're just relying on free handouts to try to get you to the end of the game without doing the other aspects of it. So that's all for today's video. I hope if you guys like this, if you would please comment, like, and subscribe, and comment what else you would like to see in the future. And I hope you enjoy the rest of this Rocket League gameplay.